see if we are doing this thing today. Are we doing it? Are we gonna be live? We should be good to go. Hopefully y'all can see me. You know what to do. Drop a 1 in the chat if you can hear me. Drop a 1 in the chat if you can see me. And welcome, y'all. Welcome to everybody who's in the building. We are back up in this thing, looking all crispy and clean on the screen. Welcome to another YouTube live stream and another episode of the ClassE Morning Show in the afternoon. I'm your host, ClassE, at patreon.com/ClassEbeats, by the way. Link is in the description as well as in the pinned comment in the chat. Great to see y'all this afternoon. We got a great show for you. It's gonna be a good time. We got some more updates on Letitia James. If you thought you hadn't heard enough about her, yeah, we've got some more crazy things happening. We're going to talk about Nicki Minaj. We've got an update here with a very sad situation with a man named Elijah Wilks. If y'all haven't heard about it, we're going to give you the information and let you know what's going on. You're in the right place for finding out what is happening out in this crazy world of ours. But before I get into it, I got to say what's up to the people, man. Shout out to my awesome, amazing Amy up in here, doing what she does, and that's being amazing. Big shout out to Amy for everything she does, making this show happen. I appreciate you. I love you. Thank you so much. We got Taco Tuesday in here. A Fitz, Mary, J Money, Les Cleaver in here. Shout out to the big dog J Money and Les Cleaver, one of the hardest working guys I know. We got Stokes up in this thing. What is up? Shout out to all the members in here. Jay Bugmasters in this thing as well. We got Tanya in here. So good to see every single one of y'all. We're going to get right into the show because we got a lot to cover today, and it actually might be one of the shorter shows, but I have to remind y'all before we get started to like the video on your way in. All right, likes are free, helps the show continue to grow, lets the algorithm know y'all are enjoying the show. It shares the video, the channel, this live stream out with more people. All right, so if you could, please make sure you like the video on your way in. We've already got 700 of you that like the video so far, which is crazy. Nobody else is racking up likes like this on any other channel before the live stream even starts. So thank y'all for being committed to doing that, because it helps out so much. You have no idea. All right. Also, I'm a little greedy, so I am going to ask you, if you're feeling extra generous, you can share the video as well. All right. It's easy to do. It's to share the video. All you have to do is click the button. It says share. You can share it to Facebook, Instagram, X. You can even share it in your group chat. You can text it to people, let them know where you're going to be hanging out for the next little while. All right. So thank you to all of you who've done that. And I will be giving a special shout out to those of you who send in super chats. And so many of y'all have already done that, man. Shout out to everybody who's in the building who dropped a super chat. Y'all are showing so much love. And I definitely appreciate y'all helping keep the lights on here on the ClassE Morning Show. We've got my guy, Les Cleaver, with the 10 bomb. He says, good things come to those who wait. The Lord loves you always and never forsakes you. God's will be done in heaven and on earth. Welcome to the best YouTube channel ever. Shout out to Les Cleaver, one of the hardest working guys I know. He's up in here on his lunch break, before his lunch break, while he's at work, after he gets off of work, if we're still here. This man supports like crazy every single show. Thank you, Les. I appreciate you. And he's also, it looks like Les is having pie for lunch. All right, Les, this is a family show, so I'm going to keep my comments to myself on that one, but enjoy it. Shout out to Les Cleaver for the super sticker over there. All right. Thank you, my friend. I appreciate it. Again, I will be reading super chats as we go throughout the show, and I'll be saying what's up and good afternoon to so many of y'all as we go through as well. Spring Flowers is in here. Good to see you. All right, let's go ahead and get into it because we've got a lot to cover. Oh no, why am I on? I'm on the wrong screen. What is going on here? Y'all bear with me. My software was having a little bit of a glitch, but that's never stopped us before, and it's not going to stop us today. So let's talk about it. Nicki Minaj is going through some things right now. One of my favorite, if not the greatest female artist, rap artist to ever be in existence, is facing some legal issues. I was shocked when I started doing research about this topic with Nicki Minaj and this lawsuit she lost, because Nicki Minaj has faced a lot of lawsuits. And this one is one of the craziest ones. She's faced a lawsuit for copyright. She's faced a lawsuit for putting hands on someone. And she's got a lawsuit here she lost, and it lost by default because they didn't even respond to the lawsuit. Now, Nicki Minaj is being held accountable for over $500,000. What we're going to do is we're going to do a little bit of a rewind to a couple years ago so you guys can figure out and I can tell you what's going on with this lawsuit. And then I'll give you some more information on why Nicki Minaj may look at losing a $20 million house. Check this out.
What's something people don't know about Nicki Minaj's latest drama? It involves a jaw, a security guard, and $500,000. So here's the scoop. Kenneth Petty, Nicki Minaj's husband, is facing a hefty lawsuit. Thomas Weidenmuller, a security guard, claims Petty assaulted him backstage at a Nicki Minaj concert in Frankfurt, Germany, back in 2019. Weidenmuller alleges that Petty broke his jaw after a verbal dispute involving Minaj, leading to a judgment in Weidenmuller's favor earlier this year. The guard is now seeking over $500,000 in compensation, and he's not stopping there. He's pushing for a writ of execution to enforce the judgment, which could mean seizing assets from the couple. All this while Petty deals with separate legal issues, including a recent house arrest for probation violations related to a 2020 sex offender registration case. This legal drama adds another chapter to the controversial lives of Nicki Minaj and Kenneth Petty. Stay tuned for more updates on this unfolding story.
Now, this was in 2024, all right? So this was last year. And now we have an update on what's going on with this lawsuit. Check it out. Shout out to Amy for posting this over on X. If y'all don't follow her, make sure you go follow Amy on X at IAMYLEIGH. That's at IAmyLee on X. All right. What does Amy have to say about Nicki Minaj and her husband, who's been causing her all kinds of trouble? Reportedly, Nicki Minaj is at risk of losing her $20 million mansion over a legal case. Reports claim Nicki Minaj may be at risk of losing her mansion in the Hidden Hills after a court judgment tied to her husband, Kenneth Petty's 2019 legal case in Germany. The plaintiff is allegedly seeking to force the sale of her $20 million mansion to cover the $503,000 judgment. Nicki Minaj has not publicly responded to reports. Oh, and it gets way worse. And I actually saw Amy just posted something about this. We might check that out here in a second. What does Us Weekly have to say about this? Why is this happening? What happened with the initial situation? And this man, Kenneth Petty, it seems like he's been nothing but trouble for Nicki Minaj since they've been in a relationship. But hey, they're together. It was what it is. Nicki Minaj's Los Angeles mansion is at risk of being sold off due to a massive unpaid debt she and her husband, Kenneth Petty, have refused to pay. Us Weekly can exclusively report this, that on October 6th, Thomas Weidenmuller, hopefully I said that right, who was awarded $503,000, over $500,000 from Nicki Minaj and Petty in a lawsuit over an alleged assault by Petty in 2019, asked the court to order the rapper's home to be sold to help him collect on the money he owed. And the court might agree. And the thing about this, the reason it's alleged is because they won the lawsuit on default, which means Nicki and her camp didn't even respond. So the judge just said, oh, well, nobody's showing up. No one's responding. I guess you get your money. Weidenmuller, who was a security guard at one of Nicki Minaj's shows in Germany, said Minaj owns a 11-bedroom, 16-bathroom, 11,000 square foot house. Goodness gracious. In the Hidden Hills in California. The entertainer purchased the home for $19.5 million in December of 2022, according to the property records. In his motion, Weidenmuller explains that he believes the home is worth enough to pay off the mortgage, liens, and his debt. He pointed out that Nicki Minaj has a $13.2 million mortgage lien on the home and a $722 million homestead exemption, together just under $14 million, which would be more than enough to pay this man. Weidenmuller told the court the property's current fair market value is appraised at $20 million, yielding approximately $6 million in equity beyond the lien and exemption. That amount is more than sufficient to satisfy the judgment, plus accrued interest and enforcement costs. He said the law does not require him to exhaust other collection efforts before asking the debtor's home to be sold off, which is crazy, by the way. Here, there is no doubt that the sale of the dwelling would satisfy the entire judgment with millions to spare, he said. He said, Nicki, you gonna be fine, all right? Just run me my money. It's $500,000. It's not even, it's a 12th of what you would be getting from the home sale. All right, run me my money, please. Weidenmuller's lawyer noted, although it is regrettable that the extraordinary measure of forcing the sale of Nicki Minaj's dwelling is required, that result is entirely the product of her intransigence intransigence? I don't know. Basically, she didn't pay. Minaj is a global music superstar estimated to have a net worth of anywhere between 150 million and 190 million, and is reportedly the highest paid female rap star in the world, as she should be. There is little doubt that she is highly capable of paying the judgment in full, and yet she refused to do so despite multiple written requests to payment and levies served upon her of her suspected creditors. Pay your money, Nicki, come on. William Mueller said he should not have to wait any longer to receive his money. I agree. In his lawsuit, William Mueller claimed there was drama while working at Nicki Minaj's show on March 22nd of 2019. He said a fan broke the security barrier and was able to get on stage next to Nicki Minaj. The rapper allegedly became upset with the security team working the event. William Mueller claimed Nicki Minaj was yelling at a female security guard when he tried to defuse the situation. He alleged that Nicki Minaj was upset by his attempt and told Petty about the encounter. He claimed he was instructed to go to Nicki Minaj's dressing room. Once he entered, William Mueller claimed Nicki Minaj was there with Petty and two security guards. He claimed that Nicki Minaj started yelling at him, which led to Petty, without warning, striking William Mueller in the face. Emotional, you know what, ninja. Come on, dude. William Mueller said he was stunned and disoriented. He said he was rushed to the hospital when doctors determined he had serious injuries and needed surgery to fix his jaw. Nicki Minaj and Petty failed to respond to the lawsuit, which led to the court entering default judgments against the duo in March of 2024. All right, so what do y'all think about this when it comes to Nicki Minaj? This entire situation is insane. The judge could rule that the property needs to be sold, which would not be a great thing for Nicki Minaj. And also, we have to look at what's going on here, because this thing is insane. Because if you go back and look at what happened with the original lawsuit, Nicki Minaj and her husband had an opportunity to respond, and they didn't say anything. They just let it go past, and the judge had to make a decision. Check this one thing out. Nicki Minaj and Kenneth Petty failed to respond to a 2021 assault lawsuit, incur a $500,000 default judgment. Nicki Minaj and her husband, Kenneth Petty, may have to pay we know they have to pay it now, after failing to respond to an assault lawsuit. On Friday, TMZ shared documents it obtained that highlighted a default judgment against the couple in LA Superior Court. The amount of the judgment is $503,318.02. Got to have the 2 cents in there. The default judgment comes from a security guard named Thomas Wiedemuller, we know all this, who sued Nicki Minaj and Petty for $753,000 in 2022 for an assault that allegedly happened during a show in 2019 on the Nicki World Tour in Frankfurt, Germany. Wiedemuller stated that a fan breached the wall. We know all of this. And then what happened? Things got escalated at the point that Nicki allegedly called the female security guard an FMB and criticized her on social media. Nicki, come on. Wiedemuller claimed to have stepped in and removed the security guard while going back to Nicki's dressing room to resolve the situation. Then we know he went to the dressing room and he got knocked out by Nicki's husband. Not great. All right. Despite all the drama, the couple is still managing to give fans a healthy dose of content on social media. Recently, Petty rapped some of Nicki's lyrics during a live stream. You say you the biggest barb, so you got to finish the lyric, Nicki said before dropping the rhymes from her Pink Friday 2 track, Pink Birthday. So again, this is not looking great for Nicki Minaj. I want to see this lawsuit. Again, I went through and tried to research and find this exact lawsuit. There's so many lawsuits out against Nicki Minaj. It's crazy. So I'm going to find that lawsuit and then we'll cover it in another video. Let me know what y'all think about this in the comments and in the chat. Crazy, man. Nicki, what are you doing? This dude is like, it's a lot more trouble than he's worth, because not only does Nicki Minaj have this situation, but there was a situation involving Nicki, her husband, and the Migos at one point as well, which got wild. So I don't know, man. You got to be careful with the people you keep around you. That's for sure. And actually, I said I was going to look and see what Amy said about this one. Amy had something else she just posted. And let me see if I could find it. Oh, yeah, here we go. She said Nicki Minaj is in serious financial trouble after her husband allegedly assaulted this man. Said reports claim Nicki's $20 million LA mansion could be taken away after her husband reportedly failed to pay the man her husband attacked in 2019. Allegedly. All right, he's trying to get them to sell the mansion. Amy says the moral of the story is sometimes who you marry can make or break your peace, even your empire. Yeah, that's true. Absolutely insane. What are y'all saying about this whole situation? Yeah, I've been going for a while. Oh, man. I hope you're doing well, James. I'm glad to see you in here. Bombay's in the building as well. Thank you to all 1,100 of you that are in here. If you could, please make sure you take a second, like the video. Well, glad to see you in here, James. Hope you're feeling well. All right, rest up, man. The 2 cents can make all the difference. Her last name is Petty. Wow. Well, her husband's last name is Petty. I guess if she took his name, her last name would be Petty. Let me see. What else do y'all have to say? Unreal. This story is crazy. It's real, man. Unfortunately, people be going through some wild, insane, and crazy things these days. So we've got, speaking of, we got to talk about Letitia James in here. Let me get rid of some of these tabs. We got to talk about what's going on with Letitia James. Let me double check and make sure that you guys can hear me okay. Yep, we're good. We should be good there. All right. We got to talk about Letitia James again, because more information is coming out about Letitia and what she has going on behind the scenes when it comes to this indictment that was brought against her and the alleged mortgage fraud. Not only does she have that issue she's dealing with, insurance fraud she might be dealing with, tax fraud she might be dealing with. Now it's being said she's harboring a fugitive, and not one fugitive, but 2 fugitives. We talked about her grandniece on the last video when we talked about Letitia, but now it looks like there may be someone else involved as well. Y'all check it out. Let me know what you think in the chat.
There's a new twist in the mortgage fraud case against New York Attorney General Letitia James. Now, as you know, prosecutors accused James of lying on loan documents, claiming her Virginia home would be a second residence, but instead using it as an investment property.
Yeah, so now investigators say the person believed to actually live there is reportedly a fugitive in another state. Newsmax crime correspondent Jason Matera has the very latest on this developing story. Jason, what can you tell us?
Yeah, good morning, Mark and Charlotte. Well, you can't make this stuff up. So the person living in Tish James's Norfolk, Virginia residence is apparently her grandniece, a woman by the name of Letitia Thompson. And, well, Ms. Thompson has quite the rap sheet. Back in 20...
Look at this. Assault and battery, a class 2 misdemeanor. Okay. 2nd degree trespassing, a class 3 misdemeanor.
2011, Nakia was arrested in North Carolina on assault and battery and 2nd-degree trespassing charges. But according to court records, she skipped out on the terms of her probation. A spokesman for the North Carolina Department of Adult Corrections tells Newsmax that the 36-year-old is an absconder for willfully avoiding supervision by her probation or parole officer, adding that she faces arrest if found in North Carolina, which could trigger the activation of her suspended sentence, meaning that probation she violated could quickly turn into real jail time if she sets foot back in the state.
She better not set foot back in the state. That's not her only
running with the law. Thompson's criminal history crosses into Virginia as well, including charges for conspiracy to commit larceny, grand larceny, drugs, and possession of burglary tools. We spoke with the neighbor who says that he's lived next to Nakia Thompson for several years now at the Norfolk residence.
A police officer.
He told us he's never once seen Letitia James at that house. And that's the legal problem the New York Attorney General finds herself in today, since federal prosecutors allege James committed bank fraud and made false statements to a financial institution by calling the property in question a second home instead of an investment in order to secure a better loan rate. So, Mark Shaw, just to recap, you have New York's top law enforcement officer, by all indications, harboring a fugitive from another state in a home that the Justice Department says was purchased via mortgage fraud. So, like I said,
no one's above the law, Jason.
No one's above the law.
Yeah, her words. All right. Thanks, Jason.
All right, so now Amy's going to give us some more insight into what possibly could be going down here. She posted this on X. If y'all don't follow her, again, make sure you follow Amy on X at IAMYLEIGH on X. That's at IAmyLee on X. What does she have to say here? This is getting wild. These are Letitia James's nieces living in her Virginia property and her so-called tenants, allegedly. One of them, Nakia, is a fugitive who reportedly fled North Carolina to dodge arrest warrants and then took up residence at Aunt Letitia's bank fraud home. She said it like that. Meanwhile, Letitia James has been aggressively targeting Trump with lawsuits and prosecutions, yet here she is, alleged to be harboring someone escaping justice that stinks of hypocrisy and abuse of power. Check this out. So we've got Nakia Monique Thompson. We just talked about her, and she was booked back in August of 2019. All right. What was she booked on? What were the charges? Burglary, tools, possession. Okay. Larceny. Obviously, she broke into a car, I guess. Grand larceny, $200 or more. She contributed to delinquency, abuse of a child. Dang, what happened here? And she's got 3 counts on that one. And then she actually, it says she conspired to commit larceny greater than $200 from a person, it looks like. And then we've got Kayla Simone, is it Hairston? Hopefully I'm saying that right. And she was only 19 at the time. So she's 20 now. This was back in 2024. Yep. And it says she's staying there, allegedly. She's been charged with grand larceny, greater than $1,000 from a person, weapons, false statements. Goodness gracious. Attempted weapons and convicted felon, a violent convicted felon with the transport or possession of a firearm. I mean, I guess Letitia is the one to make it out because, boy, the family that she's surrounded by is interesting. Amy also says this. Charges against Letitia James's niece, both of them, all right, and her grandniece has an extensive criminal record spanning over 2 decades in North Carolina and Virginia. She is currently listed as an absconder by the North Carolina Department of Adult Correction due to probation violations. Her known convictions and charges include, and we went through these here: simple assault, assault and battery, assault against a government official. So 2 counts of that because she assaulted a police officer. Yeah. Theft and larceny, 3rd-degree larceny and grand larceny and petty larceny. Child-related crimes contributed to the delinquency of a minor or abuse of a child. What else do we have here? Trespassing, we just went through that. Drug or possession or disorderly. Possession of marijuana, disorderly conduct. And then traffic, she has driving with a suspended license resulting in arrest, malicious conduct while incarcerated, speeding 80 miles per hour in a 55 per hour zone. And then, of course, we got the most important part, the probation violation. Willful avoidance of probation supervision, aka absconding. But there's more. We've got more information. Hey, yo. On these fine folks here stayed up, held up in Letitia James's home. Check this out. Amy says New York Attorney General Letitia James, already under federal indictment for bank fraud, is now accused of housing her fugitive grandniece, Nakia Thompson, inside her Virginia home. Thompson has been living in James's Norfolk, Virginia property since 2020. So we found this out the other day. She bought the home right away. She being Letitia James. Letitia James bought the home right away. As soon as she did, Miss Thompson moved in, according to the record, along with her 3 children without paying rent, it says. Court documents show that this is the same house at the center of Letitia James' indictment. She signed mortgage papers declaring it would be a second home used exclusively by her, not as a rental or shared residence. For years, Thompson lived in the house as her permanent address. Prosecutors say James' statement to the bank was false and allowed her to secure more favorable mortgage rate. Thompson is not some distant relative or victim of circumstance. She is a 36-year-old repeat offender with a long record of criminal activity. North Carolina authorities officially list her as an absconder after she violated probation for assault and trespassing charges. She has been arrested multiple times, including twice for assaulting police officers. Her criminal history includes burglary, grand larceny, we saw, possession of burglarized tools, and child endangerment related to traffic offenses. She once pled guilty to both petty and grand larceny, received probation, and then failed to complete it. Because her charges were misdemeanors, North Carolina cannot extradite her from Virginia. That means she has effectively been hiding in plain sight under the roof of one of the most powerful prosecutors in America. That's so true, and a great point by Amy. She says this is the same prosecutor that has built her entire career on calling herself a watchdog for justice. She claimed to fight corruption, hold the powerful accountable, and protect the rule of law. I mean, this is hypocrisy 101. You're going to tell me she didn't know that they had all these legal issues? You're going to tell me the attorney general is that incompetent? You don't do a background check on your own people, and then you knowingly have them come stay at your place, which you illegally acquired? I mean, dang, man. Yet, according to prosecutors, she broke the law for personal gain and protected a convicted criminal in her own family. It's not a political issue. It's a moral one. Ordinary Americans who falsify mortgage documents or harbor a wanted fugitive go to prison. They do not get primetime interviews or glowing press coverage, but the same rules rarely apply to those in power. The facts are clear. The Norfolk home was supposed to be a personal second residence, not a refuge for a wanted relative, right? And then there's more that's happening here as well, because Letitia James, her job could be in jeopardy, not only because of this indictment, but because there is someone who is trying to run against her in the upcoming election. Michael Henry is her new opponent, and he had some things to say about what's going on with Letitia James. We're going to hear it here in a second. But this is breaking news. Michael Henry is stepping up to challenge Letitia James in the 2026 race for New York Attorney General. A true politician, a true political outsider, Henry is running to restore the integrity to the office, focusing on fighting crime, rooting out corruption, and easing the crushing cost of living. He is not in it for politics. He is in it to serve the citizens of New York City. Well, we tried to do that here in Fulton County and it didn't work out so well. So I don't know. Check this out. See what he has to say.
New York City Republicans throwing their full support behind Michael Henry as he challenges Letitia James to be the next Attorney General. Michael Henry joins me now, sitting right next to me. Here he is. Michael, is Letitia James vulnerable because she's being indicted, or is she gaining ground because she's so vigorously anti-Trump? Which is it?
No, she's vulnerable. I mean, look, in 2022 when we ran, we received 46% of the vote, and the climate of the state has changed. Upstate, there's been a lot of economic decay. They fired 3,000 correctional officers. Nobody even knew the term trade de agua in 2022, so you had the migrant crisis on top of all this. And I think what's happened here with Letitia James is she's somebody that's gone around just in 2022 alone, she went after the President of the United States, she went after Andrew Cuomo, and she went after Nikki Haley in the same election cycle. So she's somebody that's literally run around punching people in the face, and someone's finally gone back after her, and she thought she was going to be able to play this victim card. And what we're seeing is people are saying, you know what, she's been doing this for 30 years in politics, and it's just basically her having to deal with what she's done with everybody else.
If you're elected, can you reestablish the decent reputation of New York's judiciary? Because I think it's been slammed by Letitia James.
In the state, most of the judges at the Supreme Court level obviously run for office. When it comes to the appellate courts, that goes through the governor's office. But what I can do is make this a professional office, because there's over 700 attorneys now. It used to be 650, and bureau chiefs and deputy bureau chiefs throughout the regional offices in this state. And what I have the discretion to do as the Attorney General is to remove those individuals that are not, to me, this office is simple. You're the people's attorney. You're not the Democrat Party's Democrat National Committee's enforcer. And what you do is you put bureau chiefs and deputy bureau chiefs in to oversee industries that they understand. You work in conjunction with local and federal law enforcement, and you make sure that people check their politics at the door and they follow the rule of law. And in my administration, we're going to have a competency test. And if you can't work in this office, streamline it and make it efficient, you're not going to have a position in this office.
Competency test.
Correct.
Not a political test,
No, a competency test. Because
Okay.
Letitia James wakes up every day focused on three things: weaponizing the office against political opponents, attacking the President of the United States, and ignoring the issues that matter most to hardworking families in this state. And my administration is going to be a professional administration where we work in the best interest of the people of the state of New York.
President Trump says, look, he's not going to fund New York City if Mandami wins. He doesn't like his communist policies. If he withdraws finance from New York, they don't get a bailout. That's bad news for New York City.
Absolutely.
Can you do anything about it?
Well, what we would do, obviously, with a Republican governor, Republican AG, is obviously have a line of communication with the White House. And I think that's the key here, because we see right now, and look, forget about the fact that this kid's a communist and an anti-Semite. He's 33 years old, never had a real job.
Dang.
So when there's a blizzard and he has to get the sanitation trucks out, there's civil unrest, there's a structural collapse, the subway's flooded because of a hurricane. Does anybody think a practice smile and a word salad is going to be able to run this city efficiently? We don't even know who his deputy mayors are going to be.
Dang, he's taking shots at everybody. All right. He's talking about the future mayor, possible mayor. We'll have to wait and see. I tend to think that even with this news coming out, Letitia James isn't going anywhere. It's the same thing here with Fulton County. I think it'll be the same thing with the AG there in New York. I'll be surprised if she's held accountable in any way. But we'll just have to wait and see what happens with this indictment. How quickly is it going to move forward? Let me know what y'all think about this in the comments and in the chat. They said I'm up here bashing black women. Oh my goodness. I mean, if saying the facts about a black woman is bashing her, then I will happily do that. Whatever. Shout out to the best black woman bashing platform out there. I don't know. There might be some that have me beat. Shout out to Amy in here, has been a member for 11 months. 17 months. I got to give her another round of applause. She says, happy banana-versary. Happy banana-versary to you, Amy, as well. I love you. I appreciate you. So glad you're here on this channel. Man, if y'all have been around for any of the 17 months, you've seen the impact that Amy has on this channel right here. But she does so much behind the scenes as well, helping prep for the show, coming up with ideas for the show, getting content for the show, finding articles, finding documents, finding videos. I mean, so amazing. I will never forget that live stream with the bananas, man. Shout out to Kanye West. Thank you, Amy, for being here. Thank you for all that you do in the chat, behind the scenes, everything. I appreciate you so much. And thank you for being a member for 17 months too. She does it all. By the way, Amy does have a YouTube channel. So if y'all haven't checked that out, make sure you go over there, support Amy, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you don't miss any time she drops a new video or premieres a video as well. We were just in there watching one of her premieres earlier this morning, and it's absolutely crazy. So if you haven't checked out Amy's content, make sure y'all do that as well. All right. She also drops the banana with the super sticker on her banana-versary. Thank you, Amy, and some cake to celebrate. All right. Shout out to Amy with the super stickers. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Absolutely amazing. Also, we got CPE up in this thing. Didn't even leave a comment. He just dropped a 5-bomb and showed some love. Thank you, CPE. Thank you for dropping the 5-bomb. Brian's over there mad because he said I was bashing black women. Called me an Uncle Tom. Hey, listen, I don't know what I said that was bashing against Letitia James. I actually think I was nice today. I've been way harsher on her than I have been in the past. And honestly, I haven't been that harsh. I don't think. I gave her credit for the lawsuits that she won against President Trump. And I also said she can be held accountable. I think people just find it difficult or hard to be objective on certain things, especially when it involves a certain race. If you're white and you say something negative against a black woman, you're racist. If you're black and you say something negative against a black woman, you're Uncle Tom. I mean, at the end of the day, who cares? I don't. I don't. I'm just going to speak the truth. And the truth is she's in a lot of trouble. So if that's bashing, then whatever. She is harboring fugitives. Allegedly. She's innocent until proven guilty too. Yes, ClassE, how dare you bash those involved in criminality who happen to be black women? I know. I'm not supposed to say anything. I got to remember, I got to protect the image. No matter what. I get it. I apologize. Even though I don't have my black card. It got taken a long time ago. I should have stayed a fugitive Amy's posts are funny. Yeah, she does a great job. If she was white, you would have said the same thing. You wouldn't have said the same thing. People are so sensitive. Yeah, they'll be okay. He says, ClassE speaks the truth. The truth ain't bashing, in my opinion. Yeah, I don't know what bashing is. And I've even said, listen, Letitia is innocent until proven guilty. But I think some people are just sensitive and they want to be upset. And they want to call people names. Oh, well, it is what it is. I'm not tripping. Shout out to Mr. Brown up in here with the 5 bomb. Mr. Brown, you support bashing black women? What's wrong with you? Come on. What are you doing, Mr. Brown? They're going to come take your black card next. He said, he didn't even say anything. He just dropped the 5 bomb. So technically, he's not really supporting bashing black women. He's just showing some love. Thank you, my guy. Appreciate you, Mr. Brown. And Amy's over there chasing around nephew. I love it. Oh my gosh. All right, let's keep it moving and get into this next topic. This is going to be an interesting one. I don't know if y'all have heard about this, but this entire turn of events is wild. Yeah, you're good, Mr. Brown. I think you did the right thing. Again, don't know why my streaming software is popping up over there, but we are going to talk about Elijah Wilks. And if y'all haven't heard this story, this is one of these status stories I think I've heard in a while. Maybe he is blind and he can't see that you are black as well. That's why he called me Uncle Tom. Like I said, if you're white, you say something negative about a black woman, you're racist. If you're black and you say something negative about a black woman, then you're Uncle Tom, so it's okay. Can't hold black women accountable. You can't hold some black men accountable. It depends on the guy though. D says, Amy, you will not catch a 2-year-old. You just got to let him run. So sad, so messed up. All right. Yep. Y'all know a little bit about it. Let's go ahead and get into it. So if you haven't heard what's going on with this situation with Elijah Wilks, it's a very, very sad situation that happened. And at the end of the day, it could have been prevented. Elijah Wilks was was being chased by a police officer, right? Didn't want to pull over. He got pulled over, ended up getting in an altercation with the police officer and got shot. Now, there was a lot of speculation about what happened in the entire situation. BLM spoke out. His family spoke out and said the police officer was wrong. He should be let go. They couldn't believe this happened. He was undercover, such and such and so forth. But now we have the video footage that's been released and we actually get to see what really happened during this altercation. And the family, they make an interesting statement here. I want y'all to check this out and see what's going on.
Breaking news here at 5. Milwaukee police just released video showing last week's off-duty police shooting death.
The mother of Elijah Wilks said after watching the video, she believes the officer was justified in this shooting. Now, Jason Galvey is here to show us what she saw.
Yeah, Ben, this is very unusual for MPD to release video this quickly. But some in the community had questions, and the family said they wanted people to see for themselves.
This video was captured by the off-duty officer's dash cam. You can see it starts with a fender bender on Mill Road. The family says it's Elijah Wilks who then gets out of the front car. MPD and the union say he hit the off-duty officer in the face with a gun. And MPD then said there was a shootout. We're going to pause the video right here.
The vantage point of that video is clear.
The full video.
It's within a few feet away. So again, the proximity is substantially more reliable. And it depicts the details that are very critical here.
Wilks' mother and attorney B. Ivory Lamar watched this video Friday and came out right away and said they thought the officer was justified in shooting.
When we saw the video for the first time, completely silent. It was unimaginable, what actually took place. And I think that, we requested to see it a second time. And it's just something that we just have to take acceptance and accountability for.
Wow, you don't hear that often. As sad as this is, a lot of people, y'all have seen some of them in the chat and in the comments, will hear this and say, no, it still doesn't matter. He didn't have to do that. Why did he pull out his gun? He could have just turned away and walked away. The family's coming out and saying, hey, listen, We saw what happened. Our son was lost, but he was lost because he did something very dumb and very stupid. Could have been prevented, and the police officer, he's justified in this. That takes so much for this family to say and not be bitter. Respect to this family. I can imagine how hard that was for them to say.
On Friday, Wilks' mom and the attorney said they wanted MPD to hold off on releasing the video to give the family time to grieve. Some still had questions after a YouTube video and some online posts.
Over the weekend, some surveillance video that was shot across the street was released publicly. It was quite grainy. It was hard to make out exactly what was taking place between the off-duty officer and Elijah Wilks.
On Monday, the family said they wanted to bring clarity so people could see what they saw.
I think that's critical for healing for this community.
Milwaukee Police's new policy says the department will release video like this within 15 days. They'll show the family the video within 48 hours. In this instance, they showed the family the video the day after the shooting and shared it publicly within days. Ben?
That video is so clear in telling us what happened there. Jason, thanks.
Yeah, and this, again, something you don't see very often. A lot of people will just double down. They'll double down and say, oh, it was the police. I've got the full video here. Again, I want to say somewhat of a trigger warning. This isn't graphic, but you can tell a man is being shot and eventually ended up losing his life. So here's the full video. I'm going to let it play through so y'all can see exactly what happened.
What are you doing?
So he was it looks like he was road raging against a police officer, and he didn't know it was a police officer. It's tough, man.
I'm in the fucking lane.
Dang. And he comes around the other side.
Stay down on the ground. Don't move. Walk and please. Stay on the ground.
Again, this situation right here, a lot of people would have justified this. I think we've seen worse situations than this, and it's still been, people have tried to justify it. This did not need to happen. This man could have kept his hands to himself. He got emotional, he got upset, and he ended up losing his life. And respect, again, so sad this family has to deal with this. Respect to them for coming out and speaking on it and saying, this should have never happened. Let's hear from them directly and see what they had to say in this press conference that took place recently. Dang.
All right, good afternoon. I'm attorney Biari Lamar. I represent the family of Elijah Wilks. I am here with the family, community advocates, supporters, and also his mother, Pamela Bond-Slater. Obviously, this is a very tragic situation that this family has to now endure. Obviously, the grieving process is going to take some time to reconcile all of the mix of emotions, seeing as though this just happened yesterday. But I want to provide an update. I think some of my remarks as it relates to our investigation of a civil rights matter, somewhat unique. We've had the occasion today to meet with the Milwaukee Police Department. We have had an opportunity to review the video that Chief Norman spoke of yesterday. And I want to first thank the city of Milwaukee, the police department. They have been very accommodating. Many times in these situations, we often ask for transparency. Many times we have press conferences like this one, and we are demanding the video. and, trying to get an understanding of actually what took place. And on this occasion, I want to thank the city of Milwaukee, the police department, Detective Harms, and that team there for the transparency that they have provided this family. I will say that we have been in contact with several witnesses who have seen what transpired yesterday. Mm-hmm. So I want to thank the community for reaching out, providing information that helps the healing process for this family so that they can, in fact, get answers.
Sad, man.
There have been videos that have also been provided to this family. And again, we thank the community for assisting the family in this way. But today I want to now take this moment to address what we did see. And again, this is something that oftentimes I don't think I've ever come before and did a press conference and said this, but we will acknowledge that we do believe that this officer-involved shooting was justified.
Wow. That is crazy. Guys, can you just think about this for a second. This is Elijah's mom here. And she gave his attorney the okay to say this. Can you imagine your kid gets taken out by somebody and then you come up before national television, national news and say, hey, he got what he got. He should have known better. I taught him better. I raised him better. I mean, if anything, I don't know. Most probably wouldn't just say anything at all. I don't know that most people would come out and say, yeah, it was warranted. He did what he had to do. And my son's gone because XYZ. Shocking, man. I've never seen anything like this.
We will acknowledge that we do believe that this officer-involved shooting was justified.
Wow.
What took place yesterday is the video that will be released by statute within the next 15 days. It's going to show that Elijah was coming up almost 47th and Mill Road, and there was a construction area in which he was trying to get into the left lane, and he kind of aggressively maneuvered into this left lane. Mm-hmm. And essentially cut off the off-duty officer at that point. Obviously, the officer said some words that you're going to ultimately hear on the body cam. And that caused a slight collision in which the officer's vehicle collided with that of Elijah's. After they kind of got past the construction site, what we saw today was Elijah pulled over. The off-duty officer followed right behind. Elijah did get out his vehicle, as did the off-duty officer. Elijah did kind of point to the front end of the off-duty officer's vehicle, kind of alleging that you hit me and caused some type of property damage to the vehicle.
Yeah, and he's looking at his car.
What we see next on the video is that Elijah did have a firearm. He does pull it out, and the video in which myself and his mother, Pam, did watch today is he does slap the off-duty officer with the firearm. After which the video does depict Elijah pointing the firearm at the off-duty officer, and the off-duty officer did respond, what we believe, in accordance with his training, and did fire off several shots. Elijah then kind of is now running over to like the front of his vehicle at this time. And you see on the video that Elijah ultimately kind of pops up on the other side of the vehicle. At that point, there's another barrage of gunshots fired by the off-duty officer at that time. So, in sum, we do believe that the shooting, it was unfortunate, it was tragic. The loss of any life, we hope is preventable. But this family stands before you today acknowledging the officer's actions, and our hearts and our prayers go out to the off-duty officer's family as well. I'm sure that he's going through a healing process. We assume that was very tragic for him as well. This city needs to heal. Elijah was just 26 years old, and we have to be responsible for decisions that we make. We believe that Elijah did not know that this individual he was coming in contact with was an off-duty officer. But in any event, we want to be cognizant of our actions. And
oh man, they're gonna call this pro brother and Uncle Tom. I'm not even saying anything. They're gonna call me an Uncle Tom for playing this. Where's the Uncle Tom folks? How could he say that a black man was gunned down by another white man? No, he did something stupid. Paid a stupid price. This is accountability, and unfortunately it cost this man his life. But I think this message needs to be said, and it needs to be said more often by people that look like us. Just saying.
Not resort to firearms, violence.
They're gonna call us Uncle Tom,
aggression.
Though. That's all right.
So again, that is what our sentiment is today. It's unusual. I do again want to thank the city of Milwaukee and all of the advocates, this community, for getting in place the new SOP, which now provides for families to have access to the video within 48 hours. Again, we got it in 24 in this situation, so we're thankful for that. We have asked for privacy in that the video is not released until closer to the 15-day mark, so that this family has an opportunity to grieve and to heal. We assume that the investigation is still ongoing, so of course we are reporting based on the facts that we had available to us today. But should there be any new information that comes forth, we'll respond accordingly. But that is what our investigation yielded from our own personal investigation and that of the city of Milwaukee, which again, we're thankful for. With that, I think it's important to humanize who Elijah Wilks was. Now, we acknowledge that he made a bad decision yesterday.
Wow.
And unfortunately, it came with dire consequences.
Wow. Now, I was going to play the rest of the press conference, but I'll leave a link in the press conference for y'all. This family's, they've been through enough, but I wanted to show this for the same reason they came and did this press conference. It's because they wanted people to know the truth, and they wanted this to be as an example of accountability. Please, it's not worth it. Keep your hands to yourself. Keep calm. Because this can happen, especially if you pistol whip somebody with a gun. Dang. Let me know what y'all think about this in the comments in this chat. Sad situation, to say the least. Do y'all want to hear the shout out to everybody who's in here? Over 11,000 of you in the building. Y'all want to hear the rest of this press conference? Amy says, you think it was excessive? Really? I don't think so. Let me play the video again, and we'll just walk you down on the video. I don't think it was necessarily excessive, personally. So we got the bump here. He's like, oh, let me get over real quick. Now, in Elijah's defense, the officer could have slowed down. Like, just let him in there. He's trying to get over. Did he have his turn signal in? I mean, dang. Officer was being a street bully. Should have just let him over. First of all.
What are you doing?
Oh no, he did call me Uncle Tom. Brian called me Uncle Tom. Further up. So you bashing black woman again, Tom? He was trying to get over to avoid the construction. Officer should have let him over though, but I highly doubt he thought he was going to kill him.
I'm in the fucking lane.
Dang. There it is. Come on. I mean, there's really no reason to defend this. Honestly, I know it was probably in the heat of the moment and these guys weren't thinking. If I ever, for whatever reason, especially in Milwaukee, no offense to y'all, if I see a guy get out of this car and he starts walking like this, if he's got his hand in his pocket and he's closing one door with one hand and the other one's in his pocket, put that thing in reverse and get out of there. Get out of there. Like, he should have known. He should have known right then. Hey man, don't worry about it. I'm gone. Not even worth it. And then he's turning his back to him, walking off. I mean, you're in Milwaukee, sir. Come on, dude. And I don't know, I'm guessing Elijah really hadn't shot this gun a lot, because I don't know how he didn't get more shots, or if any shots off. He didn't get any shots off. And again, I don't think this wasn't excessive. Let me count the shots.
I'm in the fucking lane.
I think he emptied it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We should have 3 more shots left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's not too many shots. He's got a gun. He pistol whipped him, got down underneath the car, and then he starts crawling around the front. No, there's nothing excessive about this at all.
I'm in the fucking lane.
Yeah, that's it. He's empty. 12 shots.
Stay down on the ground. Don't move.
And it sounds like Elijah might have got 1 shot off. It doesn't matter. Amy, you know this. If the other guy wasn't shooting back, why would he continue to shoot? It doesn't matter. And I'd have to look at the specific laws in Milwaukee. But this man already used deadly force on this guy. And then he doesn't run away. If he had gotten in his car and tried to drive off and the officer kept shooting at him, which I don't think he would have based on his training. But he wouldn't have started shooting at him again in the car. If he had done that, if he had started running off and the officer shot at him, fine. This guy continues to go around the car and starts crawling or whatever towards him. This isn't Jason Levesque, where the man's unarmed. He comes walking up to him, yelling some things, and he gets shot. And then he starts crawling away and he gets shot again. I mean, look, you can see it here. He starts coming around the front of the vehicle.
Stay down on the ground.
We don't know what's happening. Stop. Right there. What are you supposed to do? What are you supposed to do? Crazy, man. I don't know. Too many shots. Oh, he emptied the clip, as they say. What a shame for this man's life to be taken. I hate to think what would have happened if the other guy did not have a gun of his own. I have young drivers, and I think about them when they leave. Just tell them to avoid conflict. Avoid conflict. This situation happens to your young drivers. Stay your you know what in the car. Calling the police. That's all you could do. But again, that's a great point. If he hadn't gotten out of the car. Oh, man. I'm not going to play this again. So the family, they have more to say here. Did y'all want to hear the rest of this? Let me see. Yeah, he's walking towards him. He's advancing towards him. Amy said, He says, ClassE, careful, they will label you racist because you married a white one. Again, my black car has been gone for most of my life, so I'm good on it. Heartbroken for both families, what a shame. It's sad,
the
man.
family's privacy
It's
and
sad.
respect why they are going through this grieving process. So we would ask for the community to please consider that and be empathetic to this family as they do grieve.
Yeah, absolutely.
With that,
it's not
I
the
will
family's
allow,
fault. They lost their son. Sad.
Members of the family to speak as to who Elijah was and any personal feelings that they have. Then I'll come back and answer any questions that you members of the media have at this time.
First, I want to acknowledge that his mom did see the video, just like Attorney B. Ivory said. She saw it twice, and she is in agreement with what happened. I would also like to thank the Milwaukee Police Department for their transparency and their professionalism in handling this matter. I would also like to say that we don't know what happened. We don't know why Elijah made the call that he made, but that's not part of his character. Elijah, he was a son. He was the only son.
Dang.
And he was a good-hearted person. Again, like B. Ivy said,
this is
we
sad,
gotta
man.
take
I didn't
this
want to play
tragedy
this.
and look at it as a whole. A lot of times we see road rage in our community, but it just hit home this time for us.
Dang.
And I think we all can learn something from what happened today. And it could have been any one of us or any one of our kids, because we all are one seat away from making the wrong decision.
It's true.
So it's about thinking about our choices before we do something.
I mean, think about it. Maybe he lost his job. Maybe he's out of gas. Maybe he's looking at his bank account while he was driving. Maybe somebody cut him off earlier and he just had enough. He had a rough day. And as she said, take one decision. His life was changed forever. Sad, man.
That's all I have to say.
That's tough. I can't believe this family's saying this, man. Respect to the family.
I'm Elijah's sister.
I don't know if it would be me.
I really don't know what to say. That's my only sibling, my only brother. Like, my brother was all I got, for real. Like, that's my only sibling. And now he's gone, but, bro, my brother, man, like, I really don't even know what to say. But, like, my brother, he wasn't, like, my brother don't even got a criminal background. Like, my brother was a good person. Everybody loved my brother. I don't know, bro. I don't got much to say. But I love my brother. He was really a good person. Long live my brother, for real.
Dang, man, this is
Hello, everyone. So again, just to piggyback off of what was already said, I'm Pamela's sister. My name is Latrice Bell. My sister is definitely at rest with what occurred. Like our other sister stated, she did get a chance to watch the video twice. We're definitely sending our hearts out to the officer's family and himself, with recovering, because when something like that happens, you don't even know it's about to happen. So no matter what the officer was thinking or Elijah, you just don't know what to happen. And from the video that my sister saw, it just happened so fast, along with B. Ivory, Mr. B. Ivory. I mean, everything just happened so quick. We wish it wouldn't have transpired that way, and it did. And my nephew, he made a decision that he should not have made.
Dang.
That's just something we have to live with. Him as a person, he was a son, a brother, a grandson, a nephew, a little brother to someone, my son, Jeffrey. A lot of times y'all hear about how good an individual was, but their actions don't depict who they were. But in this case, that's really who he was that day.
And I think, let me be clear. I think just from this video and this interaction alone, I do not think Elijah Wilks was a bad person. I don't think just from this one instance, that doesn't make him a bad person. As we said, people are people, they're human, tensions run high. I don't think, was he reckless? Yes. I don't think he planned on shooting the officer. It doesn't seem like he was that type of person. Just got caught at a bad time in a bad place. I agree with her. It doesn't seem like he was a bad person.
Hey, you know, just a bad decision. And now we have to live with that forever. That's something we have to accept. We're going to accept. Again, we thank the Milwaukee Police Department, everyone who came out. You know, we were seeing Bonham out here, you know, like
Prayers
the
go out to
community
this
really
family,
came
man.
out. We didn't want anyone to riot, get to, you know, going off about anything. We just really wanted to know and keep things settled because, again, we are one community. We all need to join together at some point in time. And everything that's occurring around the city of Milwaukee, it has to change. So no matter if you have an encounter with a police officer or just a regular civilian on the street. At that time, I don't believe Elijah knew that it was a police officer, but whether it was or it wasn't, the encounter should have been different.
Dang.
The encounter should have been different out the gate. So with that being said, not only continue to pray over our family, his family as well. Again, we don't need anything else to come out of this. My sister, she's very satisfied with the outcome. They showed her, we're okay with that. That's what it is.
Any questions?
In the video we watched, did it appear that the off-duty officer identified himself as an off-duty officer to Elijah?
I didn't see
I don't
where
think
he
he did.
identified himself.
He didn't
when we
identify himself.
We also have a video as well. It's not as clear as the one in which the Milwaukee Police Department has in their possession, or should I say the West Allis Police Department. I want to also thank them as well. The West Allis Police Department was present. The captain was present. They made themselves available for any questions and so forth. But the video in which we possess, we do believe that after the officer retreated at some point, we think he went and got a lantern and kind of put that on at some point. But we don't believe he identified himself as an officer prior to. It did appear to be dash cam video. That's correct.
The crazy thing is, I see y'all talking about this in the chat. The crazy thing is, I know Georgia law, South Carolina law. I don't know Milwaukee law. But if they had pulled over and the police had been called, it's possible that the officer would have been found at fault for that accident. Because in a lot of states, Georgia and South Carolina included, if you hit somebody from behind like that, you could possibly be held liable for the accident. Especially if there was room for Elijah to change lanes. He was trying to get over. There was construction happening. He wanted to get out of the way. And it seemed like even in that video that the officer somewhat sped up or was trying to keep him from getting over. He could have slowed down and let him over. And this never would have happened. So we got to hold the officer accountable for that part of it. It's just amazing to think.
Conversations with anyone at MPD?
Yes, there were officers that was present at the meeting from the MPD. They were more so present for providing the video, not so much to answer questions. But I think that once we got an opportunity to actually see the video, there weren't many questions.
Super respected.
We had
his
clarity
family.
as to what actually transpired. And the one thing I would add is that we would hope that one thing we will remember in the city of Milwaukee is this investigation. And as it relates to transparency, the production of video, Elijah Wilks, we're going to always remember that when there is wrongdoing, that we hope not to occur within any police department, but in any event that it does, we hope they are just as expedient with releasing the video as they were in this situation. So again, we just kind of keep that top of mind.
Yeah.
There were redactions. I believe the information that was redacted was of the license plates and some maybe identifying information, but it does show exactly what took place. Outside of like maybe faces, no. I think it was pretty clear.
What did the officer say?
You really couldn't hear. It was inaudible, I would say. You do hear Mr. Wilks mention something about, hey, you hit my car or something along the lines. But outside of that, you know, I don't recall. We heard it twice, but I think that the imaging of the actual video kind of superseded everything else. It's like you just kind of seeing that, but I don't recall anything specific.
And when he struck the officer to begin with, was with the gun, he hit him with the gun. Can you see that gun in the video?
Yes, yeah, you can see it in the video.
Just to clarify, instead of saying it on fire, did officer fire from
Now, again, we saw the video twice. I don't recall specifically seeing an exchange of gunfire. I'm not saying it didn't happen, but I did see him point the gun in the officer's direction for sure.
Yeah.
Yes, so he hits the officer with the gun first, and then after which he is like pointing the gun at that time, and that's when the officer responds.
I'll play the video again for y'all.
No, we did not see any aid administered at all. If we do have any complaint or gripe with the situation as a whole, is that there wasn't aid administered. We think that the video is clear that Elijah at some point was clearly not a threat, and that at that point, based in training, there should be aid administered. Now, would that have made a difference in this situation? I'm not, I don't really think so. But we think that it's important officers are mindful that if you do have to use deadly force, that per guidelines and SOPs, that you should administer aid.
And I guess at this point, with your involvement in this with this family, that's everything. What do you guys think?
I don't think that. I think we will constantly monitor the investigation. I think that we've seen the pertinent parts. I don't see any claims being made at this time. I don't see any lawsuits or anything like that in the foreseeable future. I think this is a very unique chance and opportunity for a family to stand before the city of Milwaukee and to acknowledge what took place and take accountability for their loved one's actions. That's the same type of demeanor and conduct that we would expect the police department to also administer when their officer or employee is in the wrong. We would expect them to conduct themselves in a similar manner, just as this family has today. All right, thank you.
All right, so again, prayers go out to this family, the strength it would take and the accountability and the just moral fortitude it would take to come out and make this statement is, I don't think has been seen ever since I've been doing content on this channel. So prayers go out to them. Prayers go out to his sister, his mother, all of them. And I respect them for spreading this message, because I think it needs to be heard. I think it needs to be said by more people who are involved in these situations, instead of, having free Ray Ray t-shirts and playing the victim in every situation. Now, I think there's a lot of points where the police officer should be held accountable here. He could have let him over. We're going to play the video here from start to finish one more time for you guys. He could have let him over. I think he somewhat escalated a situation because he was just road raging with this guy and was playing the whole, oh, you're not going to get over right now game. Just being petty. But either way, did he know it was going to result in this? Probably not. Elijah's car is on the right. You see the police officer's car here. He's trying to get over. Police officer speeds up. He's like, nope. Boom, hits him.
What are you doing?
So what are you doing? Dang. Just let him over, dude. Dang. I think the cop needs to be locked up because he never said, I'm a cop. The cop's a bully. I think the cop's a bully. He does not need to be locked up. Someone pistol whips you in the face. Guys, in most states, except maybe California or New York, you're going to have the ability to, again, I'm not an attorney, so don't listen to me. I would imagine that you'd have the ability to defend yourself. Even if you have a duty to retreat, someone hitting you in the face, assaulting you with a deadly weapon, there's really not, you can't really make an argument for what happens after. And it's interesting to watch this. I want to play this in real time and just point out something about this cop's reaction time, because you can tell he takes a second and realizes what's happening, and then he draws his gun and fires. He's somewhat shocked. Watch how the police officer reacts. 1, 2, 3. He takes 3 seconds after he's he's dazed. He doesn't know what's going on. He's like, oh, dude, just hit me. Looks up, gun in his face, fires. Think of how long he paused before he started firing at him. In real time, someone's got a gun in your face. Look at this. Yeah. So he should have stated, I'm a cop. Play it again. He never said. Why do y'all feel like he has to say he's a cop? He's a citizen. He does not need to say, hey, I'm a cop. If you shoot me, it's going to be worse than shooting a regular person. No, his family already said it didn't matter if he was a cop or not. The only reason that would matter, it just wouldn't. It doesn't matter. You can't pistol whip somebody. An officer doesn't need to be held accountable because he said he was a cop. Or he didn't need to pistol whip him. What's he gonna say? Hey, yo, bro, you know I'm a cop, right? Like, again, this mindset of saying he should have said he was a cop, or they don't think he knew he was a cop. That is just feeding into this whole victim mindset. Oh, he should have said he was a cop. He didn't know he was a cop. If he knew he was a cop, he wouldn't have acted like a freaking idiot. Why does it matter? Keep your hands to yourself. All right, I'm not gonna argue it. Appreciate y'all, man. Shout out to the gang. Thank you to everybody who supported. Les Cleaver in here. Thank you, Les Cleaver. We have my guy, Mr. Brown, CPE, and my awesome, amazing Amy on our banana-versary. Thank you, y'all. We are going to be back tomorrow. Y'all know we don't miss. It's Friday, so we're going to have an action-packed show for you. Thank you to all 13,000 of you that liked the video. If you haven't yet, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you don't miss any time that we go live. Also, if you could, like the video on your way out. It helps the channel a lot, and it takes less than a second to do. Hope y'all have a great rest of your day. And as always, you know what to do. Keep growing, keep pushing, keep it classy. We gone. Peace.